Welcome to another SourceFuse's Talking Out Loud, our Friday leadership chat series. My name is Liz Grint, Marketing Manager here at SourceFuse. And for those unfamiliar with SourceFuse, we're a leading provider of cloud-native bespoke solutions and services, transforming the way companies modernize and migrate to the cloud and help them achieve business goals at speed. We recently sponsored and organized a Jax Tech meetup event. Now, Jax Tech is a group of technologists, entrepreneurs, IT professionals, and innovators in the Jacksonville area who regularly get together to learn, share insights, and collaborate. At this meeting, hosted by SourceFuse's co-CEO and co-founder Kelly Dyer, we took a deep dive into the world of Web3, including cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and DAOs. And afterwards, I spoke to our guest speakers, Ben Wasson and Alla Koretsky, just to get a feel about how the event went and what the Jax Tech group means to them. So Ben, how did you first come to hear about Jax Tech?
I've been around Jax Tech pretty much from the beginning. I was very involved with Startup Jax, that group, and was involved in Collab Jax, which was another group co-working space. And Kelly Dyer and SourceFuse had always kind of been around and been sponsors of those different organizations. And when Kelly started Jax Tech, it was kind of a natural addition. It feels a really interesting niche because it's bringing people together that aren't maybe startup focused, or they're not programming focused. It's much more generalized, so that you get a different crowd at every event depending on what the topic is, which is really fun.
And how about you, Alla?
I actually got introduced to Jax Tech and Kelly through a colleague that did some marketing for us. So I am new to the area. I relocated to Jacksonville, Florida about a year ago. So have been looking for my people. I've been trying to find people with similar interests that are also working in tech, similar tech, blockchain, crypto space. And so when someone introduced me to Kelly and said, there's this amazing event that you guys should speak about, after Kelly and I connected, I knew that it was going to be a great networking event. It was going to be a great event for me to meet other people in the area, possibly make new business connections. So yeah, it was a great connect, and it was a lot of fun, and I got to meet really great people at the end of it.
And have you attended other Jax Tech events?
This was my first. I am new to the area, so this was my first, and I heard it was a pretty good one. It was a really great turnout. So yes, it was my very first event as an attendee and as a speaker.
And Ben, have you been to other Jax Tech events?
Yeah, I think except for a couple of exceptions, I've definitely probably been to almost all of them. I really love the variety of speakers, and I really love just the different crowds that come out. There's sort of the core group that comes out every single time, but then there's always a bunch of new people to meet, which is great for networking and building out ties into other areas of the local scene.
So Ben, what would you say are the benefits of being part of this particular meetup group?
Definitely the networking. The speakers are always really good. They're always very engaging. The topics are always really interesting as well. But for me, the biggest thing I get out of it is keeping the connections alive with kind of the core group that's always there, and then building new connections in new areas. It's always interesting to see who shows up. Everybody from investors to tech people to local business owners. It's a great place to build ties with those different people. So networking is definitely the way that I use it.
And the same question to you, Alla.
The space is very small. We're kind of building a company in crypto blockchain space. You tend to be in sort of your own bubble, and you tend to stay in this little bubble of people that are like-minded. And so it's really great to make those connections in in real life, right? So meeting like-minded people that have the same visions, that have the same beliefs, that are possibly building same tools for the future, and meeting them in real life is really amazing. So for me, it's been, you know, a really great step into sort of solidifying myself in a local community.
Coming back to you, Ben, you're a seasoned financial services technology consultant with many years' experience in this industry. So what was the audience feedback or response like regarding your presentation about cryptocurrency trading and what the future might hold?
It was really good. I felt like it connected with people. I was really worried that that was going to be a really boring topic for some people, but it seemed like it connected really well, and it's definitely a perspective that people who are into crypto or who are thinking about being into cryptocurrencies haven't really heard that side, you know, because the financial services world is sort of closed off. It's a little bit of its own little private club, right? So you don't, if you're not in that world, you're not hearing those perspectives very often. So I think people really enjoyed it. I got a lot of really enthusiastic feedback about it, so I was really happy with it. I was glad it went very well as well.
And Alla, your love of technology led you to blockchain several years ago, and your mission is to make it available and accessible to the masses. So for your presentation, that included what it would take to mint your own NFTs and how to launch a community in the metaverse. What was your audience response like?
It was amazing. It was one of the first, it was actually my first panel or presentation, a keynote really, because I've done panel talks in real life on several occasions. Not many, because I started building this company end of 2019, with my co-founders, the three of us sort of, hitting the ground, pitching, trying to get our first sort of revenue seed. And so we were building this on our own, and then COVID happened. And so all activity went online. So all the pitching, all the presentations, all the conferences that were used to happen in person, all moved to virtual. So this was my first keynote in real life, presenting my company as a CEO of HeyLayer. So it was really nerve-wracking, standing in front of this amazing venue at the Mosh, presenting at the planetarium, which was insane. And then I was the only woman presenting there, and the other two gentlemen were just amazing and just really, one was a crypto expert, another one was doing something in Bitcoin mining. So me going last, I was definitely nervous, because just hearing how amazing their presentations were. But my topic is a little bit more fun, it's a little bit, so I tried to really make a fun presentation. I think the topics were a little bit more lighthearted for people understanding sort of how we got here. The presentation was the ABCs of NFTs and what led us to sort of the explosion of NFTs and the boom of the market. So I tried to relate to people in the audience. There was a lot of women that I made eye contact with. There was this lovely gentleman in the front row, Mark from 8103 Clothing, who I've connected with. We've had several lunches after that. He's great. So I've tried to make eye contact with people and really see if they're getting the topic and try to break it down to the simplest terms. So, and after that, people kept coming up to me and saying, well, this was so great, they had so many questions, and literally just the entire night I spent bouncing around. I had a line of people wanting to talk to me, which this was really just first time that I experienced something like this, because I've never presented in real life as a company, as a CEO for this company. So it was a really, really great experience at so many levels. I got over, a lot of my fears of public presentation, and it was really great connecting to people in the audience that had different types of businesses and learning types of businesses that were, present around me, and I didn't really know what was happening. And so it was really great just connecting with people that are coming out, that came out to this event specifically to learn about NFTs, I had this one documentary podcasting woman who she flew from New Orleans just to come and hear this NFT presentation, which was amazing. So it was really great just connecting to people, educating more people, and at least, you know, sort of sparking their curiosity in some way, right? That at the end of that presentation, I really hoped that they wanted to learn more.
Staying with you, Alla, what makes Jax Tech different to other networking events?
Yeah, so I think this event just feels more intimate than other events because you're meeting people that are very local to the area. I've done other events like the Bitcoin conference, the Bitcoin Unleashed conference, the NFT conferences in Miami and New York. And generally you have people from all over the world flying in specifically for those events. And it's generally, many topics, and it kind of spreads on many days. So that was interesting. I had no idea that there were so many local people and sort of how engaged the community was in this particular topic. So it just feels a little bit more homey, and a way for you to network with someone and continue those conversations past that event. So I've grabbed lunches and dinners with various people after making those connections at Jax Tech.
And lastly, Ben, the same question to you.
It's the variety for me. Like I said, Kelly has this way of picking topics that bring in very different people every single time. That's, I think, why I like it the most is it's not just going to like a Node.js meetup where you're going to talk about Node every single time. It's not always going to be about startups and fundraising and the trials of being an entrepreneur. It's different every single time. You never really know what to expect, but the quality of speakers is always very high and very consistent. It's one of the few events in the area that's really like it's almost like a production, right? Like it's almost like a professional production, which there's not a lot of those around Jacksonville right now. It definitely shows the amount of care and attention and resources that SourceFuse and Kelly Dyer puts into the Jax Tech meetup.
So a huge thanks to Ben and Alla for joining me and sharing their insights on this event. And thanks to our audience for watching. Join us again soon when we'll be back with another Talking Out Cloud with SourceFuse.